My name is Lori Esposito, and I will be showing you how to document your artwork for submitting work for future exhibitions. I will be focusing quite a bit on lighting. Find a location that has even or diffused lighting conditions. You'll want to make sure it's a cloudy day when the sun is high in the sky, late morning or early afternoon, or ideally on a sunny day in the shade. Sometimes sitting the work upright will capture enough light so that you don't have an underexposed image. But if you lay it on its back, it may be better lit. So try shooting it in a couple of different positions. But before you're done, you want to make sure that you take some details. Detail shots are a really important part of submitting an artwork as they highlight the materials, the surface, or other elements that might be missed when viewed from afar. Just as easily as a warm or cool light source can change the tone or feel of an artwork, so does the color of whites. And you can see in a series of works on paper here that there is a variation of white. So warm white in the top left, and the other three smaller works are on a cool white ground. If you want to bring a playful element into your documentation, or if this is just a part of your studio photography practice, you can always lay objects on colored grounds, but I would suggest avoiding putting them on a dark ground. You want to keep a sort of mid-tone or light ground in the background of your artwork. Make sure that the background is clean and smooth so as to not distract from the artwork. But what if you've attempted to photograph your object in multiple locations and your lighting is still too dark? Here, Arlo is using a DIY reflector. We wrapped a cutting board with aluminum foil. This usually goes without saying, but you want to make sure that you use a tripod, especially if you're shooting in a darker environment. So stabilize your camera so that you can take longer exposures without losing the sharpness of your image. If you don't have a tripod, you could use a chair or a stack of books. And when shooting a 2D or flat artwork, make sure that the camera lens is parallel with and level with the object. You'll also want to try to avoid a lighting that creates long, dark shadows. In review of the tips for in-camera editing, document your work in even or diffused lighting conditions. Make sure the color of your light sources are not misrepresenting your artwork. Stabilize your camera, especially in darker lighting conditions. Bounce light into your documentation space to avoid hotspots. Document your artwork on a clean, smooth background. Avoid dark backgrounds. If you have a group of artworks that go together, that's a body of work. Document them separately and in a group. Always take a couple of detail images. Thank you for listening, and I wish you luck in your future documentation.